Welcome back to the On Business podcast. With tons of experience in different industries in Canada and the United States, Danielle and Brandon give you real talk, no nonsense expert advice about running and owning successful companies. Here's your host, Danielle Jenkins and Brandon White.
Danielle Jenkins, what's happening?
Did you have a good Christmas? Let's talk about what just happened.
I have no idea because we're recording it before Christmas happened. But I like your radio personality approach. I can project and tell you that I probably had a spectacular Christmas.
Wonderful. That's all we need to hear is that you had no expectations and you had a wonderful Christmas.
And for those just tuning in, you need to listen to our last episode to get that joke. How was your Christmas?
Wonderful. It was great. We were busy and my dogs loved it.
Aren't you at a spa right now, technically, when this comes out?
I will be tomorrow when it comes out.
So again, for those listening, you have to listen to the previous episode. So if you're new, welcome to the show and check out the previous episode to get that joke. It's a short episode on how to prepare for the holidays, which maybe you're still going through the holidays and there's some good advice there. Today we are talking about, we're doing a pre-Happy New Year, as in Happy New Year from us, and also how we approach the new year with goals and the framework that Danielle and I have talked about together over a year and sort of agreed, and I've implemented the last few years because previous goal setting narratives, is that the right word? The things that all these people on social media say, just I think is a bunch of crap. So You agree, Danielle?
I do. I think it's overwhelming, and I think there's a reason why so many people's goals don't get met or even started because of this expectation of doing 80 goals for 80 different aspects of your life and not even knowing where to start.
So that's a great slow pitch to our suggestion for the new year for setting goals, which usually people are doing about this time. A few days before New Year's, everybody's getting pumped. You got a few days off, is only set 3 goals. Only set 3 goals. And those 3 goals are related to health, which is not just your health, but that health means your relationships. That could be your partner. That could be your family. That could be your actual health. So it's really health. Oh, actually, health is relationships. I'm sort of slow because we're recording during the time of year when I'm trying to get all this other business stuff done. So health is relationships. Body, do something as it relates to your physical body. So decide that you're going to eat better. You're going to go to the gym 3 days a week. Make whatever it is, but it can only be one in that category, and then your business. Now, your business, of course, is going to have subcategories that you hopefully did during the shutdown period, which was done previous to the holidays. And I don't know if you remember, Danielle, what episode we covered that in, but we did a whole episode on shutdown, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So if you're tuning in and you didn't listen to that episode, we highly encourage you to listen to that episode because we go through exactly what the shutdown is. But in the business, it's really just for yourself running your business. Pick one thing. Of course, there's all these other goals. I want to increase X, Y, Z. There's all these subcategories that people on your team are going to help you with. But what is your one goal? Is it a revenue goal? Is it a profitability goal? Is it a mindset goal? So again, it's mind, body, business. So, and I consider the mind health, and that's just your relationship. Or, hey, it could, one of them for me one year was, I just want to take 2 vacations with Yvette, because that leads into a better relationship, or I don't say better, that would imply that it's not good, but maintaining your relationship, keeping your relationship healthy would be a better way of putting it. And whatever that is, but the idea here is that you just want 3 in those 3 categories so that it's simple and executable. With all these 80 goals that people come out. There's just no way in hell that you can do it. And then you get, as the first few weeks of the year happen, and you start falling off because you just can't literally keep track of all these goals that you're trying to do, you get discouraged, and then it just stops.
Yeah.
So, and make the goals easy. If you haven't been to the gym, or the gym sort of tailed off because we went through the pandemic and then we sort of are coming back and you've sort of gotten in the flow, don't say, oh, I'm going to go back to the gym 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Just get to the gym 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And if you do 3, 4, and 5, then you exceed your goals. But I think people set these huge, you need to challenge yourself, but you also need to make them achievable. And by using this framework, which is just 3 goals, then you're focused and you can execute on them. You can make them far-reaching goals, or, what do they call it when you make a goal that is not easy, but not so hard you can. I don't know what it is. I can't remember right now, but you got to challenge yourself with the goal, but it can also be achievable so that you can actually hit some of these goals to grab the momentum.
Right. Like, a point of a goal is not to challenge yourself to the point of not able, right? Like, a goal is to want to get it done and to move to that next step. And one thing to remember, guys, like, you can't remodel your whole life in 3 days before January 1st. Like, I see so much of that. Like, you're going to change literally every aspect of your life, whether it's financial, physical, mental, like whatever it may be. You can't just become a new person overnight because it's January 1st. And that's something you really have to remember. If you're not happy with something, you have the ability to change it, but you have to make sure you can at least reach it. So making those 3 goals in those 3 categories will help you get there. And if you can get all those done by second quarter, maybe increase them. If those are your goals for the year, increase them. That's fine. But you can't just, like Brandon said, if you haven't been to the gym ever, you're not going to be able to go to the gym 10 times a week. If you've never eaten a piece of lettuce in your life, you're not going to be able to eat, a vegetarian meal 3 times a day. Like, there's so many things that it's going to make you fail, and you don't want that. So set yourself up for success by planning, making attainable goals, and SMART goals.
And a plan to achieve them. I'm just going to use an example so people know. Last year, my body, so it's mind, body, business is how I break it down. And mind, like we just talked about earlier, is health. So that health can be relationship, it could be mindset, it could be whatever that is. But for my body, I said, well, I want to ride. This year I need to get back into my miles for my bike, and I want to ride 4,000 miles. And so I set that goal, and because I only had 3 goals, I actually could make a plan to achieve the goal. So I think that breaks down to about 75 miles a week, which is just not a lot comparably to what I've done in previous years. And it was easily achievable. In fact, I'm probably going to come in a few hundred miles this year above that goal. But my point with that goal is I set the goal in one of the categories, and I built a plan to achieve the goal, which that goal only takes me about 2 rides a week to get to, which is, it's not easy, but it's not hard. And it's achievable. So now what's happened is, because it was a stretch goal. That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah.
There was a little stretch goal from the year before, which I didn't quite get as many miles. So it's a stretch goal, but here's the cool thing. Now I've achieved it. I exceeded it. And now for next year, I'm actually going to leverage that same goal, and I'm going to go in for 5,000 miles in 2023. And that's going to be just under 100 miles a week, which is totally doable. And then if I achieve that, so it's like, if you make the stretch goal and you can and achieve it, then it builds momentum for you to keep getting better and better along the way. Yeah. So that was just an example. Do you have any examples?
Yeah. I mean, when COVID hit, obviously our business, and I'll use COVID just because that was the time that I did change a lot of my personal habits because of, we didn't have a choice, right? We did, but the gyms closed down. So I was used to going to the gym every morning. The gyms closed down. So I then had to change that for myself. And then our business exploded during COVID as well. So then I felt like I didn't have time to go to the gym. So there were all of these, I'm going to call them excuses because they were excuses, but I didn't go to the gym for a few months. And then obviously that just goes into everything else. And we talked about that on many episodes, how not taking care of your physical health can change your mental health, can change your performance. But when I ended up having to go back into that, and I didn't do it on a New Year thing, it was just a goal that I did once things kind of settled down. I said, okay, I'm going back to the gym. I ended up making it a time that worked for me. So, between 3 and 4, it was a slow time in the day. So I was able to do that. So I ended up, instead of going 5 days a week, like I was doing before, and then hitting the sauna and then going for a run after, I just made it so easy. I just did 3 Pilates classes a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just kind of broke into that. And then now, I'm back to doing my daily dog walks. I'm back to doing daily Pilates. I'm back to doing daily cycling, and it's just a part of my life again. But I wouldn't have been able to get here now if I didn't slowly start. It's like these people that want to pay off $20,000 worth of credit card debt in a week because it's January 1st. Guys, it's not going to happen. Start slowly. Start by putting $100 a week or even $25 a week, into that to pay it off rather than just your minimum payments. It's just a step. It's a baby step, and it's very important. And it's not anything negative. It's not a bad thing if you just take baby steps because you're a step ahead than where you were.
Yeah, they call them tiny habits, and you've got to be able to get that momentum going. So,
well, with that, I'm just going to add, sorry, Brandon, with your point of tiny habits, there's a book, and I recommend everybody either listen or read it. I just finished it a few months ago, and I'll pull it up right here just so everybody has the title, and we'll put it in the show notes as well. Just so everybody knows it. It's called Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones by James Clear. And it's a great book, and it just talks about building those tiny habits and why it's important to build them and be consistent with them.
It's a very good book. I recommend it. I'll also put another one by BJ Fogg, who I actually studied with from Stanford's Human Behavior Lab. And all of these, I think the Atomic Habits book is a pretty easy read, and he breaks down how to do it. So we'll put all those in the show notes. I read that book. It's a really good book, and can't emphasize enough that this idea with these, yes, stretch goals, audacious goals are good, but if you don't start small, you will not change the habit, and the habit is what drives the behavior long term. So you've got to do that. Again, in summary, 3 goals: mind, body, business. Mind can be health with your relationships, mindsets, whatever that is. Body is something related to your physical body, of taking care of it, because if you take care of that, it will drive everything else. And then your business, because of course we are a show that caters towards business owners, but what is your one goal with your business, the main goal that you're focused on, and then put those 3 plans down, put a very simple, if you can, execution plan on what it would take or what it takes. And now you're good to go in the new year. The other thing I like about this, Danielle, is if this takes you more than an hour, then maybe it takes you more than an hour because you had 100 goals and you got to select 3. Maybe, and that's really the hard part, is deciding which 3. But the good news is this exercise, you can probably whip this out in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
What's going to take you the most time is thinking about which 3 you want and deciding on them. That's really the hard part. But once you get it, just so refreshing to go into the new year with that. So I think that's the plan. Do you have anything else wrapping up here to add?
No, I think that's everything. And I would be really interested in hearing what everybody's 3 goals are. So, share with us on social media when you're writing them over this week, or on January 1st. A lot of people do write them on January 1st, their goals. So share with us on social media or write in to us. It's all in the show notes, and we look forward to reaching your goals with you in 2023.
Awesome. Happy New Year, Danielle, and to everyone listening.
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.